Hello students, good evening to all of you. I'm Seema Pandey, your biology teacher here. So we have already start our new chapter, that is molecular basis of inheritance, in which I told you about the structure of nucleotide, what is DNA, what is RNA. I told you about nitrogenous bases. So today we will discuss about the double helical structure of DNA. Today we will discuss structure of DNA given by Watson and Crick. Double helical structure, as you know, DNA is a double helical structure. Double helix are present in DNA, right? So Watson and Crick are the scientists or biologists who had given this model of DNA, or who had given the structure of DNA, that how DNA is, what is the structure of DNA. It is given by Watson and Crick. That's why we called it Watson and Crick model also. So let's start. DNA is made up of two polynucleotide chains where the backbone is constituted by sugar, phosphate, and the nitrogenous base which project inside, right? I told you in the last lecture that what is the structure of nucleotide where nitrogenous bases are attached. What are the nitrogenous bases? These are of two type: purine, pyrimidine, adenine, guanine, cytosine, thymine. I told you about all these, right? So the two chains have antiparallel polarity. It means the one chain has a polarity 5 prime to 3 prime, and the other has 3 prime to 5 prime, right? So the bases in the two strands are paired hydrogen bond forming base pairs, right? The two bases like adenine forms two hydrogen bond with thymine from opposite strand, and vice versa. Similarly, guanine is bonded with cytosine with three hydrogen bond. Remember it, student, right? So purine always comes opposite to a pyrimidine. Clear? Sorry, it's a pyrimidine, not a pyramidine. It's a pyrimidine, Pyrimi, right? So this generates approximately uniform distance between the two strands of the helix, right? What these bonding generate, right? The two chains are coiled in a right-handed fashion. Remember, student, the DNA is coiled into a right-handed, right? So the coiling is the right-handed. The pitch of the helix is 3.4 nanometer, and there are roughly 10 base pair. So in each turn, right? We used to say the distance between, what is the pitch? The distance between two bases, the distance between two bases is the 3.4 nanometer, and in one turn there are roughly 10 base pairs. That's why in one turn, or sorry, the distance between, so in one term there are 10 base pairs, right? So the distance between two base pairs, there are 0.34 nanometer, right? This is the distance, and the pitch is 3.4 nanometer. Clear? When you multiply 0.34 into 10, it will become 3.4 nanometer, right? The plane of one base pair stacks over the other in double helix in addition to hydrogen bonds confers stability of the helical structure, right? Clear? So due to the stacking of the bases, or bonding of the base pairs, the stability of the DNA is there. Now comes to central dogma. What is central dogma? It is proposed by Francis Crick, which states that genetic information flows from DNA to RNA and RNA to protein. Clear? DNA to RNA, RNA to protein. DNA is a DNA is formation of DNA from DNA is replication. Formation of RNA from DNA is transcription, and formation of protein from the RNA is called as translation. Clear? We will study it one by one. Now comes to the packaging of DNA helix. Nucleosome. Nucleosome is a structure. I told you. I will tell you. So if the length of DNA double helix in a typical mammalian cell is calculated, it comes out to be approximately 2.2 meters, right? but the length that is far greater than the dimension of a typical nucleus. As you know, 2.2 meters of DNA will be how it present in the nucleus, which you can't see even with your naked eyes. Think about it, right? So how packaging takes place, we will see here. So in case of prokaryotes like E. coli, there is no defined nucleus. DNA is scattered throughout the cell. As you know, in prokaryotes, there are true nucleus is not found, right? So false nucleus is found there. That is called nucleoid also. DNA being negatively charged, it had with some protein that have positive charges in a region termed as nucleoid. So some proteins, DNA just present all throughout the cell with the help of binding with protein, right? Because DNA has a negative charge and protein has a positive charge. In eukaryotes, this organization is much more complex. There is a set of positively charged basic protein called histones, right? There is a set of positively charged basic protein present in eukaryotes that is called histone. So histones, what are histones? Histones are rich in the basic amino acid residue like lysines and arginines. What are the lysine and arginine? These are the type of amino acid. Hope you people remember it. So histones are organized to form a unit of 8 molecules that is called as histone octamer. Right, the negatively charged DNA is wrapped around the positively charged histone octamer, that is protein obviously, to form a structure called nucleosome. Clear? A typical nucleosome contains 200 base pairs of DNA helix, right? The packaging of chromatin at higher level requires additional set of proteins that collectively are referred to as non-histone chromosomal protein, that is NHC. Some non-histone chromosomal proteins are also present there. So in a typical nucleus, some regions of chromatin are loosely packed and stain lights. They are called as euchromatin, and some chromatin are densely packed and stained dark. They are called heterochromatin. Clear? You should know the difference between euchromatin and heterochromatin. It is very important. It can come as a short note. Even differences it also comes, right? So nucleosome contain how many base pair? That is 200 base pair of DNA helix. Clear? So let's start, student. There is a transforming principle. By transforming principle, the search for the genetic material, that what is genetic material, how do we know about DNA, about genetic material. What happens in 1928, Frederick Griffith has done the experiment with Streptococcus pneumoniae, which is bacteria, which is pneumonia causing bacteria, right? Witnessed a miraculous transformation in the bacteria. During the course of his experiment, a living organism had changed in physical form. What happens, student, when Streptococcus pneumoniae or pneumococcus also, this is also called pneumococcus, when this bacteria grown in a culture plate, what is culture plate? It is a nutritive medium present in a glass plate, right, where bacteria can grow. So there are some smooth shiny colonies and some rough colonies. Smooth shiny colonies of bacteria are called S strain of bacteria, and rough colonies of bacteria are called as rough strain of bacteria, right? Right? Smooth shiny colonies are called as smooth strain. So there are two strain of bacteria. One is smooth and one is rough strain. So what's the meaning of rough strain and smooth strain of bacteria? The meaning is that in case of S strain of bacteria or smooth strain of bacteria, they have a coating of polysaccharide, right? There are a mucus coat, or there are a coat of polysaccharide, while in our strain there is not any coat of polysaccharide or such things, right? That's why this is the main difference between R bacteria and S bacteria. Do not have a polysaccharide coat, and S still had a polysaccharide.